I have not been hating on the streaming industry enough. I have some comments, questions, and concerns with the state of things. Specifically with Netflix, they're lowering the quality of the shows we like, removing shows we like that seemed to be immune to being removed, but they're being removed, enjoy that, and filling their catalog with absolute slop content. You start thinking by the end of it, one day, I'm not gonna be here. And I decided to waste my precious hours watching Selling Sunset or something, and their true crime content is so distasteful, a lot of it. Their unknown number one, I'm gonna spoil it because I think it deserves to be spoiled, because the spoiler in it I don't think should be a spoiler. I think it should be what they start with as opposed to some sort of sensational plot twist, okay? So an unknown number, it is about a mom texting her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend, weird stuff, telling the daughter that she shouldn't be here anymore, right? And her text to the daughter's boyfriend are creepy. Like, she should be behind bars for what she texted the boyfriend and what she texted the daughter about the boyfriend. So she did go to prison, but it was for a charge of stalking, not the sort of charge you would expect given the content of her messages. I go to the state of Michigan's official Department of Corrections website. It says that she will be discharged from supervision basically just over a week from now. So I don't really think justice was served in this case, but regardless, the way Netflix covered this was really shallow. The first half of it, the first 45 minutes, were of, oh, someone's texting the daughter horrible things, saying the daughter's ugly, saying the daughter's worthless. Who's doing it? Is it this girl? She sucked in 8th grade. Maybe it's her. You know, just airing out innocent's dirty laundry.
Chloe wasn't the nicest person growing up.
This is stalking. It's gotta stop.
Maybe it's this person over here. No, it was none. It was the mother.
Lauren's mom, Kendra.
But they're framing it to be like this high school drama for the first 45 minutes. And it's like, is that really what you want to do? You want to turn a story this disgusting into entertainment? You're airing out personal information of high schoolers. The documentaries are just so sensationalist. They're so sensationalized. If things keep going on the current trajectory they are, in 5 years, they're going to be no different than that god-awful tabloid section you see at the grocery store. On a similar note, what even are reality shows anyway? This is not Netflix, but I tried putting on the Mormon Wives show, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. What is so secret about it? I don't know. Like, okay, they're Mormon. Oh, but they're bad and they don't adhere to every single religious principle they were raised in. They're actually bad and defiant and have messy lives. Who could have predicted that? Right? This is not a dig at religion. This is just simply an observation on human behavior. Why are we pretending that any of these frameworks in which people guide their lives by actually mean these people are going to live entirely dedicated lives to those frameworks? I mean, tons of people just completely disregard them. They say they follow them, they do not. So this idea of like, oh my god, the Mormon wives aren't acting very Mormon-y. Okay, what's the secret here? If you're telling me they're actually part of a secret Illuminati society, that's a good Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, but instead of just being like, oh, things are messy with them. Okay, I tried putting it on for the horrible reason of I didn't want to be out of the loop. I say that's a horrible reason because that is not why you should watch a show. You should not watch a show because of FOMO or wanting to be in the know. If it is a garbage show, abstain. But I decided to try it, and it's a reality show, so what I'm gonna say here is not revolutionary. It's just drama with a bunch of people yapping about their family problems. And I'm sitting here thinking, do you really care about this, Savannah? Do you really care about this woman's marital problems? No, I guess not. No, I guess I really don't care about a friend group of Mormon wives in Utah when I live in Ottawa. It was a distraction, a sort of fake thing for my brain to fake care about, so I didn't have to real care about the things that were actually troubling me. Instead of just consuming mindless entertainment on Netflix, you know, I've actually started learning a lot of things this year. The most useful thing I've done, actually, is I've started learning back-end development. Thanks to today's sponsor, actually, boot.dev. Boot.dev offers something useful to do with your time, something that I personally have been really enjoying, learning how to be a software developer. See, they teach back-end development with many different programming languages, and it's all gamified. So you have levels, achievements, leaderboards, you know, you're building real projects, it's hands-on, and you also have access to a Discord community of other learners. I love the hands-on interactive experience. It keeps you engaged because it's not just like abstract information. You're actually like applying what you've learned to making a project. All of their courses, all of their content is free to watch. The thing is, if you want to have the interaction experience with leaderboards, challenges, progress tracking, that's what you get with a paid membership, but with the free free, you get access to all the content, so that knowledge is not gate-kept, right? You can still learn. And if you get it and it's not working out for you, they also have a 30-day, no questions asked refund policy. So I find that to be very consumer-friendly. For me, this has been very practical, and I'm really excited to see where I'm gonna go with it, and I know that you'll probably be pretty happy with it too. So if all of this sounds interesting to you, you can click my link in the description and use my code Savantics to get 25% off your first boot.dev payment. Thanks boot.dev for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into it. There's been a lot of talk lately about Netflix's second screen approach. There was this article posted suggesting that Netflix has started really taking an approach in the writing of certain shows to make the show explain everything that's going on for people who aren't looking at the screen while watching it. Not second screen enough, is Netflix deliberately dumbing down TV so people can watch while scrolling? Tavlin claimed that Netflix have told various screenwriters to have their protagonists announce what they're doing so that viewers who have this program on in the background can follow along. Unsurprisingly, this results in atrocious dialogue like the following from the Lindsay Lohan film Irish Wish. "We spent a day together," Lohan tells her fictitious lover James. "I admit, it was a beautiful day filled with dramatic vistas and romantic rain, but that doesn't give you the right to question my life choices. Tomorrow, I'm marrying Paul Kennedy." "Fine," he responds. "That will be the last you see of me because after this job is over, I'm off to Bolivia to photograph an endangered tree lizard." So I think it's important now to talk about how I watch shows. So if I'm watching it for the first time, I try not to distract myself, right? Like my eyes are on the screen. When I'm rewatching a show that I've seen times, like many times over, then I'm kind of like listening to it, watching it, just sort of refreshing myself on things that happened. With that being said though, I've noticed that some shows are easier to listen to than others, and just started watching the other day, Crash Landing on You, and I was thinking about the second screen phenomenon, right? And I'm like, I'm watching a K-drama, and I like watching it in its original language. Not that I want to go on my phone, but if I did, like, I literally can't without not understanding what's going on. That's an example of a show where you have to wait till you have nothing else going on to give your full attention. And a lot of people are busy constantly these days. I definitely think, right, they want the shows to be as digestible for heavily distracted people. They want you to be able to kind of half listen and still want to come back for more, but also know enough to go talk on social media about what you half know about the show. These streaming services aren't even necessarily just in direct competition with each other, but I think it's more so like they're just in competition with other forms of entertainment, particularly our phone. They're on one screen. They know that most of us have another with us. They're not competing with the other streaming services. They are competing with the second screen. I've seen so many comments online, and I mean, I get what they're saying, where sometimes a show is so bad because maybe it's following the second screenwriting policy, or I don't know, there's just not much thought put into it, that it makes people want to go on their phones more. So much of the slop they're putting out makes you want to distract yourself. You want to distract yourself from the distraction that was supposed to be TV. And then they decide to axe account sharing randomly. They could have just left it alone. It was a thing that was happening for years and years and years and years. But now they are, militant about it, right? They are busting your door down, saying, "This looks like a slightly different IP address. Is this your Netflix? Buy Netflix." Also, I noticed the tab called "We think you'll love these" is never accurate. I feel like it's rage bait. I feel like that's actually just rage bait, so people take pictures of it and say, "Netflix, what is this?" The second I started watching Crash Landing on You, right? It is the first K-drama I've watched on Netflix. Suddenly, every single tab that recommends something to me, every single one is pertaining to East Asian media. You watched one episode of Crash Landing on You? We, Netflix, are actually going to give you a visa to South Korea. Nothing wrong with K-dramas. I will get around to watching a couple more, but it's like telling me, like, you will like this now. You will watch everything in this niche now. I want to watch other stuff too. I want to watch other things. I feel like with the nature of streaming services, I thought before that it was really hard to shove in disgusting little features to get people addicted or fear missing out and desperately want to keep using your platform. I thought it'd be really hard to do that because I'm like, isn't it just a collage of different shows and movies available? I'm like, how are they doing that? Well, the services are designed in such a way where I am actually now seeing FOMO on them. They are now trying to make you fear missing out on stuff. The shows are constantly moving platforms, right? Constantly moving around. And then on Netflix, they have the leaving soon tag that goes on shows, right? That category. So you gotta tell me, why am I feeling FOMO over Dead Poets Society? I'm having FOMO over it because every single time I have time to sit down and watch it, I'm like, not really in the mood for this specific thing. Then I see the leaving soon tag, and then I feel pressured. I'm like, oh god, I'm not really in the mood for it, but maybe I should just put it on anyway. There is this sense of urgency created through the actual design of how these work, making you feel like, oh, you better snatch it up now, like a deal that expires. And I know one thing, with the shows moving around and stuff, people might argue, oh, well, that's because of competition, right? The streaming platforms are competing with each other over deals, who owns what show. And it's like, well, are you suggesting a monopoly? Obviously not, right? Like, I think when there's a monopoly, they get complacent. And when they get complacent, they start ruining the experience for consumers. And when it comes to shows moving around and stuff, a monopoly would not even guarantee stability because Netflix has removed their own shows. So if everything was owned by one streaming service, they would remove shows that are just not as successful or they just don't care for anymore. Like Voltron, for example, okay? I was in the fandom of Voltron in 2017, so I wanted to rewatch Voltron, right? I found out they removed it from Netflix like a year ago. It has been off of Netflix for some time. They are deleting She-Ra, which is a Netflix original. What are we doing, right? If it's an original, that is wild that they can just vanish from the platform. Like, those should be immune. You would think those are immune from being randomly deleted, but they are not. So literally any show, anything you see on Netflix is fair game for just not being there one day. I feel like 2026 is going to be the comeback year of the disc with the black Sharpie. Something that I've been doing lately is I've been turning to physical media more, right? I've been putting my money towards what I believe in, as opposed to just giving Netflix even more money when I am deeply dissatisfied. You know, one thing that we can all do is we can probably like disengage, right? And consume more meaningful content. I just mean like something that you actually care about instead of just putting something on to put something on, right? But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say for now. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.